usually of ohia, an endemic tree that embodies both the female and male principles of hula. The wood is male, because that's what they make kunuya kea from, and the flower, the lehua, is female. Reflecting the fact that both women and men danced. Therefore, their individual principles addressed, also not to discount the fact that both Lono and Laka were considered androgynous. Now you know that Laka is one of the patrons of hula. Laka is a representative of Lono. Lono is always androgynous. So therefore Laka is androgynous, because it is Makuakane and Wahine. The two sit on that shrine, and the shadow of Lono is above them. Any questions on that one? Okay. Because you will hear the Laka is a goddess, and it's written everywhere, and it's said by everyone. Well, you have Makuakane and Wahine. Laka was not only a goddess. And because I hate to use the term, Laka represented the elemental Lono. Because Laka, La'a, Maikahiki, is the one who brought a form of dance and percussional instrument to the islands. So therefore was commemorated forever from that moment on, and became then a patron of hula. This is Laka, the Maile. Because when he came back to the islands from Tahiti, they just showered him with maile everywhere he went. And so then it became synonymous with him. All right? With me so far? Okay. The table-like platform stood waist high with a surface measurement of about 3 by 4 feet. The selection of fresh greenery was carefully chosen, assembled, and reverently played on the altar in a specific mystical pattern by the Pai, assistant to the Po'opua'a, who in turn assisted the master of the dance, the Mai'a. Today we say Kumu Hula. Some are taking it upon themselves to say Loea, which is incorrect because Loea is a female Kumu. Mai'au is the male Kumu. So he is a Mai'au. Okay? Acclaimed chanter Kuluvai Maka states that the Mai'au never participated in the gathering of said plants. Such a task was the responsibility of the class leaders to create the glamour by which the ancestors and elementals would be called. This too was a test. He goes on to say that the greenery was removed from the parent plant with respect, for the Akua is represented. The one who gathered said plants, avoiding unnecessary destruction. You have no idea what happens during the Merry Monarch on the island of Hawaii. Everybody, and even now that we have the rapid death, the ohia rapid death, where the ohia trees are dying, we have like 24 in our backyard that are sticks sticking up from the ground. They're dead. They carry a fungus in them that is spreading to all of the other ohia trees. So this year when the Merry Monarch took place, all of the halau were warned that do not pick the lehua, do not take from the trees, do not take the leaves, do not take the liko, do not touch the tree at all. But how many performances did you see with the lehua on their heads? And believe me, the community howled over this because they were warned not to, and they did it anyhow. Not all of them, but some of them did. Avoiding unnecessary destruction. The Palapalais pillaged Everything that they don't bring themselves is taken. A word now on these plants. A word now how we decorate ourselves when we do hula. That we do this. That we carry all of these beautiful, beautiful flowers and lei. In pre-contact times, it wasn't that way, you know. They did teeth, they did fiber, they did stone and bone. They didn't do plants because they had the Kuahu already with all the plants. But when the Kuahu was given up, they then became the Kuahu. And they then donned all of the plants that would have necessarily gone on with Kuahu. That's why you see all of that beautiful, beautiful stuff. But what I sometimes like to see a halau come on stage, the way it might have been, was just what they might have worn, and not all that stuff. Not all the men wore the lepo'o all the time. And you have artists making this mistake with every painting. There's a lepo'o on somebody's head. Well, they didn't wear that all the time, but that's to identify that it's Hawaiian, because how the hell would you know he was Hawaiian if he didn't have a lepo'o on his head? You would have no idea. Okay, let's go on. Okay, the shrine itself was built on the east side of the halau, the side of the rising sun, in honor to Kane. You always honored Kane, the phallic principle. Hence the respect to Kane in chants. You know, sometimes when you read chants, it has that little introduction on the top that has absolutely nothing to do with the body of the chant, because that is a commemorative to a patron. Many of the chants give homage to Kane, who is actually the premier male principle. The life waters of Kane. The semen created all life on earth. He is the land. Kanaloa is the sea. Hame is the earth. Kane inseminates the earth and upsprouts her children. They're not real, they're not human. How many times I've heard a wife say, oh, I just think for better, you know. How? Pele is the lava that emanates from the caldera. The caldera is Kapo'ula Kinahu. The earth itself is Homea. The foundation is Papa. Kapo is the caldera. Out comes Pele. Creates the lava, the first plants that grow. The fern, that's Hiaka. She's the greenery. So they gave a face to all of these wonderful elements. They gave a face, and not only a face, the storyteller gave them all backgrounds and resumes and genealogies. So today, this is very poorly understood. And you still have people saying, oh, I descend from Pele. You might descend from the disciples, her disciples, who came from Pora. That I'll understand. But you cannot descend from her because she's lava. Let me see how that works. Okay. Its lattice surface of thin, cleaned and straight ohia branches were firstly covered with a thick layer of pulu. Pulu is that wonderful, soft, feathery stuff that grows from the stem of the ama'u fir or hapu'u fir. And they would gather this, and it creates a soft, wonderful wool-like. And they would cover the lattice with this pulu. In that, water was sprinkled upon the kuahu every morning. This absorbent material helped keep the plants fresh and green throughout their short lives, then replaced undetected, and I'll give you a reason why, so that the appearance of longevity remained undisturbed. Creative visualization. I'm not going to show you that those plants die. That's a negative. I'm going to show you that they're alive forever. How do they remain alive forever? And we have that fancy thing going on now today too. Well, you know, my auntie said that they remained alive forever because someone came at midnight, removed all the dead plants, watered the pulu, and make sure that when everyone came in the morning, they saw this wonderful Kuahu, fresh and beautiful, every single day. It was in the mind's eye. Creative visualization. They did everything like that. And they did it so no one saw. No one could see this take place. Okay? Longevity. Remain undetected. Important. Mostly all scholars who describe the plant selections associated them with offerings made to the gods and goddesses, quote, end quote. Not quite grasping that instead they were originally meant to kahea, to call those gods and goddesses, quote, unquote, to this earthly plane, and more specifically to their individual halau. That's why it was important for that plant selection. The plants represent metaphorical components which were at one time the foundation of the Maori creative visualization process. This was the reason that certain plants, sensitive to the different elements, were used, all done in order to attract mana to the shrine to their earthly extensions. Everything had a name. Everything in Hawaiian nature has a name. And the name is given to that whatever, describes what it is, describe what it was used for, describe the healing properties, describes everything about it, all within the name. How they did this, I have no idea. Because when you think that these people came here and knew nothing about here, to Hawaii and knew nothing about Hawaii, they had to go around and not only measure the earth that they finally settled on, but then study every damn plant that was on that earth and then name it. Every fish that swam in the ocean, every bird that flew in the sky. I'm going to talk more about that when I do the Kukuripa thing, the Kaneki'ia thing. But anyway, think about that. Think about the enormity of having to do that. Within a short period of time, they landed in Hawaii, around 800 AD. And within several generations, they had this all analyzed and indexed. I'm sorry, no computer to do the work. Just there. Ike. Okay? Gods and goddesses from where I did that already, the gods and goddesses. Okay, of late I've tried to distance myself, and I did that the same thing. But it bears repeating. Of late I've tried to distance myself from those vacuous alien terms, and they are alien terms. Janine, aren't they? Alien terms, thank you. Alien terms, where the hell am I? Usually irreverently written with a little g. You notice every native person, when you talk about gods and native gods and gods, they've got the little g. They're not even good enough to get the big G. You notice that? That gets me. Denoting a religious concept never accepted by Western Christian scholars as bona fide, reducing all cultural alternatives to a pagan reality that was neither condoned nor understood by them. Right? Okay. In order to have even a remote concept of any culture, one must first understand the philosophical beliefs different than embrace their existence, for philosophy is the foundation of all endemic knowledge. All of it, everyone. Irish, German, whatever the hell you are. It is the foundation of all that you are. Not your religion, your philosophy. What you are as a people. What your people were as a people, what your ancestors were as a people, how they thought, how they felt, how they did their everyday stuff. The incorrect term of gods and goddesses was given by those outsiders who first had documented the culture, and I said this, and I said this, and I said this. Okay, so let's move on. I will use the term akua to mean those elements representing different aspects of nature, such as pele, hi'iaka, kapu, And Kuahu to mean once living human ancestors. Auma means my mature ancestor, my mature parent. They were big on that because they realized that I'm them. I carry on where they left off. I carry them within me. It's such a beautiful concept that I carry them within me. I carry mine within me. People associate me with Hawaiian culture, but I am Sicilian. And I'm so proud of being that. I know my genealogy. I know my family history. I know everything about my people. I know the history of my people. My father was good at this. He did not let me grow up without knowing who I am. So my daughter loves to tell people, oh, your mother is so Hawaiian and hard, and does she have a Hawaiian name, and yada yada. And Natalie goes, no, I'm a Sicilian. And the reason I've embraced this Maoli culture is because it is so similar to my ancient culture. Our islands are similar. Island people are very different from bigger